Hey, sports fans. This is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes. I wanted to jump on real quick since the NFL preseason has ended to talk about my Tennessee Titans and what they did this preseason and a preview of their 17-game season that's coming up in 2 weeks, that will start in 2 weeks. So, as you all know, the Tennessee Titans went 3-0 in the preseason. But we all also know that that means nothing. It's just the preseason where teams are trying to play as many players as possible so that they can trim down their roster to 53 players along with the players they're going to have on their practice squad. So Tennessee looked really good in their preseason games. I was really impressed with Will Levis and the control he has at that quarterback position. He was able to work in and work with those two new receivers that Tennessee has in Calvin Ridley and Tyler Boyd, which I thought was phenomenal. And I thought that the drafts that we made the last two seasons on the offensive line really helped us out a lot during this preseason. Those linemen have really grown a lot over the past two seasons and the preseason this year. So we're going to be playing a lot of guys that we picked early in the early rounds of the NFL draft on that offensive line. And if you watched any of the Titans games last year, you will know that that was where their weakness was. It was on their offensive line. The offensive line was terrible. Not as terrible as the Cincinnati Bengals line, but they were terrible. And hopefully that the Cincinnati Bengals can adopt some of that philosophy that the Titans had to rebuild their line because they're going to need somebody to protect Joe Burrow. So I was excited to see that those two new receivers were able to work themselves in and get on the same page with Will Levis. And we didn't play DeAndre Hopkins all preseason. So once DeAndre Hopkins gets out there on that field, along with Calvin Ridley and Tyler Boyd, they're going to be looking really, really, really good. I was also impressed with how Tavondre Sweat played. He was the defensive lineman out of Texas that we drafted in the second round. And Tavondre Sweat played very, very well. And he hasn't even paired up with Jeffrey Simmons yet. So just imagine what that defensive line is going to look like with Tavondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons. So I'm very excited about that. I'm excited that we have a new addition at the running back position in Tony Pollard. Now, of course, nobody wants to lose a Derrick Henry, but we had to do what we had to do. But we got a good replacement that can run the ball and catch the ball out of the backfield to make us multi-dimensional offensively. And we have two very solid tight ends, which is also key in the NFL game. You got to have good tight ends in order to be able to run the football and catch the ball receiving wise for your offense to really be clicking. You got to have that tight end position solid. And I believe the Titans have two solid guys at the tight end position. So that's great for them. Also, I think the defense still has some work to do. They have a good front seven, but I'm not sure what we look like on that back end. So that's going to be a work in progress. So hopefully some of those veteran guys can step up and help those younger guys in that defensive backfield. Because in the NFL, if you can't stop the passing game, it's curtains. Because teams can throw the ball 100 times a game if they want to, and they just chew you up all day long with the passing game. So hopefully, we can get that defensive secondary together so we can be solid defensively like we were a few years ago when we made a nice run in the playoffs. So I want to talk about our 17 game schedule and what I think will take place in these 17 games. So we open up the first game against the Chicago Bears. And I believe that the Chicago Bears is going to be a much improved team with Caleb Williams at the quarterback, only from a passing standpoint. Now, I really do believe Justin Fields is going to be a solid quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers whenever he gets his opportunity. But from a passing standpoint, I think Caleb Williams is definitely an upgrade, and he's going to make some plays for them. But he will not be that successful in this game against the Titans because the Titans front seven, they can really get after the quarterback. And they're going to give Caleb Williams a lot of problems and a lot of looks in this game that the rookie quarterback just probably isn't ready for at this stage in his development. And I see my Tennessee Titans winning that game, even though it's going to be in Chicago. We don't have to worry about any inclement weather because it's still going to be summertime when we play them. So I got my Titans beating the Chicago Bears by at least a score. Their next game, week 2, is against the New York Jets. Now, defensively, the New York Jets are pretty solid. They got some key pieces on their defense that are really, really good. Really, really good. But I'm thinking that Aaron Rodgers is not going to be able to pull a rabbit out of his hat and beat this Titans team in Tennessee. And I'm thinking that my Titans are going to win that game against the Jets simply because I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is going to have the kind of time that he needs in order to find those receivers and take advantage of the defensive backs for the Tennessee Titans. So I got the Tennessee Titans winning that game and going 2-0. Our next game, the third game, is against the Green Bay Packers. This is my boy James Summerall's team. He always talking trash about them Packers. But listen, James, your Packers are going to win this game against my Titans, even though it's going to be in Tennessee. I really don't think that the Titans' defense of backfield is going to be able to control Jordan Love. He's going to be able to make some plays and beat the Titans by one score. I think it'll be a late score in that game in the fourth quarter that's going to allow the Packers to win that game. But I think it's going to be a really good game, and the Tennessee Titans are going to have a lot to hang their hat on this game because they're going to play good enough to possibly win it. But I think they're going to lose it in the end because of too much Jordan Love in that passing game. So I got the Tennessee Titans losing week 3 or the third game to the Green Bay Packers. Their next game is at the Miami Dolphins. That's my boy Justin Geiger's team. Justin Geiger, y'all gonna get that win, bro. Y'all gonna get that win. I just can't see the Titans. Defensive backfield is it's gonna be our handicap this year, and I think that two are gonna throw that ball all over the place, and that little speedy receiver they have, I can't think of his name right now, but I think he's going to cause a lot of problems for us defensively because he's just going to be too fast, and him on those seam routes is probably going to kill us. So I got the Titans losing their second game to the Miami Dolphins. Our next game, Week 5. At this point, the Titans are 2-2. We're at Week 5, our fifth game against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, this is my son's team. But the Colts happened to come to Nashville for this game. And I believe that the Tennessee Titans were going to beat the Colts in Nashville. If you see my previous video when I talked about the divisional games and who's going to win, I had this division going 3-3, all the teams winning that on their home field and losing away. And I think this is a game that the Titans are going to win at home against the Indianapolis Colts. I think they're going to be able to stop the Colts' run and force the coach to have to throw. And I do not believe that Anthony Richardson can beat the Titans with his arm. It has to be a running game for them in order for them to beat the Titans. And I don't think they do it on this day, early in the season, week 5 against my Titans. So I got my Titans winning that game and going 3-2. Then we go to the Buffalo Bills. I really can't see us beating the Buffalo Bills either. Whenever you got a quarterback that has receivers to throw to and your defensive backfield isn't solid, then you have problems. Especially when you got a quarterback who can throw and who can also use his legs to run. And that's what they have in Josh Allen at the Buffalo Bills. This guy is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And he really shows it when they get to playoff time and towards the end of the regular season. He really balls out during those times. Even though they haven't made it to the Super Bowl, they just happen to run into some very good uh, Kansas City Chiefs team with the best quarterback in the NFL in Patrick Mahomes. But I don't see my Titans winning this game simply because I don't see them stopping the passing game of the Buffalo Bills and being able to keep Josh Allen from making plays with his legs. So I got my Titans losing that game and going 3-3 at this point. Our next game, another road game at the Detroit Lions. This game is really hard to pick. And the only reason why I believe it's hard to pick is because I believe that the Titans can get enough pressure on Jared Goff to make this game very interesting. But the receivers that Jared Goff has to throw to are dynamic. And with the Titans having a weak secondary, or the secondary being the weakest link of their defense, I think that Detroit can take advantage of that in spots during this game and possibly pull this victory out for the Detroit Lions. Another thing that makes me kind of hesitant though is the fact that their coach gambles a lot, which makes me want to believe that he's going to gamble one time too many in this game, and the Titans are going to pull the upset over the Detroit Lions. So I'm picking my Tennessee Titans to upset the Detroit Lions in Detroit in Ford Field. I'm picking my Titans. Our next game is against the New England Patriots. A New England Patriots team that has not been any good since Tom Brady left. They've been so horrible they got rid of that Super Bowl winning coach that they used to have and Bill Belichick. Man, listen, y'all coming into Nashville with that team, y'all ain't got no chance of winning this game. I don't think y'all have a quarterback. I don't think y'all even got parts and pieces. So I got my Titans winning that game and winning 2 games in a row. Their second time in the season winning 2 in a row. I got them beating the Patriots handily. At this point, the Tennessee Titans are 5-3. That's a pretty good record over their first 8 games, 5-3. This is the NFL. In the NFL, you can get in the playoffs 9-8. And if the Titans are 5-3 at this point, they're in pretty good position. Their next game is at the Chargers. The Titans have won 3 games in a row. I cannot see Jim Harbaugh having those guys ready. Now they're gonna be physical, and they got a good quarterback, but I don't think in his first year Jim Harbaugh is going to be able to beat my Tennessee Titans, even though it's going to be in sunny California. I can't see my Titans losing this game with all the veterans they have on that team. And I think Will Levis is going to be able to take advantage of the San Diego Chargers defense and win that game by at least a score or two. And I got my Titans winning that game and winning three in a row and going 6-3 through 9 games of the season. Now, I think my Titans are going to be 4 straight wins because we got the Minnesota Vikings. And although the Minnesota Vikings looked really good yesterday in their preseason game, I don't think they have the pieces outside of that great wide receiver they got, Justin Jefferson, to beat my Titans in Nashville. So I got my Titans winning this game and doing enough to hold to hold the Vikings off in the end and win that game by a score. So I got my Titans winning 4 straight games. Now the Titans go to their next game against the Houston Texans in Houston. And if you watch my previous videos, I already said that it's going to be the home team's going to win in this division and the road team is going to lose. And my Titans are on the road to the Houston Texans, and I see them losing this game to the Houston Texans by a close margin. It's going to be a really good game because I think Will Levis is going to be able to match C.J. Stroud in the passing game and make some plays and keep it close and interesting. But I think Houston pulls it out in the end. Too much C.J. Stroud on that last drive for them to kick a game-winning field goal. The Titans' 4 game winning streak comes to an end. Their next game is at the Washington Commanders. I don't really know what to think about the Washington Commanders. I really don't have a pulse on this team whatsoever. All I know is they won't be in the bottom of their division, but they'll be very close. And I think that my Tennessee Titans can get back to their winning ways and beat the Washington Commanders by a good 10 points in this game. So I'm picking my Tennessee Titans to beat the Washington Commanders. So, another divisional game. The Jacksonville Jaguars come to Nashville to face my Titans. And like I said in earlier videos, the home team is going to win. And I think that this is one of the teams that really gives the Tennessee Titans fits, though. Ever since they joined the NFL and they joined the same conference with the Titans, they've always given the Titans a tough time. Always giving the Titans a tough time. But this time in Tennessee, I think the Titans gets the job done and wins this game where Pollard is able to work some magic in that fourth quarter for us to kill the clock and win that game by a point. I believe we're going to pull that victory out in Nashville. So I got my Tennessee Titans beating the Jacksonville Jaguars at home by 1 point. Our next game is against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, my boy Mossberg's team. And right about now, Mossberg might be a little bit sad about his Florida State Seminoles yesterday, even though he reached out to me on one of the YouTube videos. And so he's doing all right, but I know he's still a little bit in the dumps about that. But I want him to have a successful surgery on Tuesday. He's going to have a surgery on Tuesday, and I'm praying that everything goes well and Godspeed so that he can get back fully recovered and get back out there doing the things he does on the basketball court and out there working with the youth. So, Joe, you got my prayers, bro. But my Tennessee Titans going to beat your Cincinnati Bengals on this day. Well, I know you'll be fully recovered by then, so you'll get to see that whooping that my Tennessee Titans going to put on your Cincinnati Bengals. You too, Mr. Johns. We going after your Bengals. And I don't think Joe Burrow's line is going to be able to handle Tennessee's Titans pass rush. And the way that their two defensive tackles can push that pocket, they're going to create a lot of issues for Joe Burrow. And if Mr. Chase isn't back because of this contract thing, I don't think they really have a chance of being really good this season with the schedule that they have. So hopefully they get Jamar Chase signed, get that man out there on the field because that's your best chance of winning. You can't do it all with T. Higgins. Can't do it all with T. Higgins. The NFL defenses are entirely too good to be able to scheme and shut down a one-man game. And you saw that last year with the Titans because all we had was DeAndre Hopkins. And you saw how teams were able to shut us down. Even though Hopkins got balled out, the other side of the receiver position was null and void. And I think that's the way the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be if they do not get Jamar Chase signed and in there on that field. Otherwise, they're going to have a long season again, even though I'm rooting for my boy Joseph Osai to ball out from the University of Texas. So I got my Tennessee Titans beating the Cincinnati Bengals and going on another 3-game win streak. Look at the Titans. All because of what I've seen over the preseason. I think the Titans are going to be all right. And their schedule isn't that tough. So they can win some games and be in the running to make a wild card or even win the division. Their next game is at the Indianapolis Colts. And my son will probably be calling me all this day because it's at Indianapolis and they're probably going to beat my Titans. And I'm going to get to hear from him because he's going to be calling me all day or shooting me a text talking trash about, look at your Titans, look at your Titans, look at your Titans. But I got to say that early in the season about his coach. But I do believe that the Indianapolis Colts are going to pull out this win because they're going to find that running game, and Mr. Anthony Richardson is going to find a rhythm this part of the season to be able to make the Indianapolis Colts relevant in the division. So I got the Indianapolis Colts beating my Tennessee Titans in Indianapolis. Back on the road again to the Jacksonville Jaguars, where I believe that the Tennessee Titans are going to lose because it's a road game in the division. And like I said in those earlier videos, the home team is going to win every single one of these divisional games. And I believe that that's what the case is going to be in this game in Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's quarterback is going to be able to make enough plays to pull out that victory, and they'll be able to milk the clock in the end to beat the Titans by any score less than 7. I don't think it's going to be more than a touchdown game in this victory for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I got my Tennessee Titans losing this game to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But our last game is at home against the Houston Texans. Listen, I believe this game right here will be for a playoff berth between the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. Winner take all. And guess who the winner going to be? Taking all. Yeah, my Tennessee Titans are going to beat the Houston Texans in the finale of the regular season for them. And guess what? Guess what? They playoff bound, y'all, and division champs. Whoever would have thought that my Tennessee Titans was going to win the division? Now, I know for a fact that my son is talking this trash, talking about what they're going to do. I know my nephew talking this trash about the Houston Texans and what they gonna do. And I got family that lives down in there in Jacksonville, and I know they talking trash too. But guess what, family? My Tennessee Titans are coming to rule the division again, taking their rightful place at the top of the division like it should always be. Tennessee Titans, division champs, playoff bound, with a final record of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 and 7. I think I said that in an earlier video too, that we was going 10 and 7. Guess what, y'all? My Titans. I appreciate you for listening. Please continue to watch and like our videos. Anytime you click on any of our videos, go right to that thumbs up button and click it. The more likes we get, the more content we can make, and the more YouTube believes in this channel. So please hit the like button, share the videos, tell your friends. Listen, these guys are making some powerful videos about sports. Support them because it costs you nothing to hit the subscribe button. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so that you can get notifications anytime we make a video. I appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Have a good work week because you know you got to work. You got to make that money. So with nothing else being said, tighten up!